Hey everyone, Brian from Bearable Traders here. It is Sunday, June 16th. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hope everyone's having a good day, family day. So let's just take a look at the week that was, and we'll try to look ahead here, see what we're watching, see what we can watch for the coming week. One thing, obviously a big thing coming up this week is the Fed is going to be meeting on the 18th and 19th. Got a lot of anticipation around that as to what they're going to say about the future of interest rate decreases. Lots of opinions about what's going to happen. Some people are going to say they're going to sit on their hands for June, maybe lower and do a cut in July. And they'll just wait for the G20 summit to pass, which is at the end of the month, 28th, I believe, in June. And they'll just wait for that event to pass before they do anything. But having said all that, again, I think people are trying to speculate when the rates or cuts are coming, if they are, and I think the market's got it pretty heavily oriented towards some cuts are going to be coming. So I think we're going to be sitting on. I think a lot of people are just going to be sitting on their hands maybe Monday and Tuesday and just seeing what the announcement and what the Fed minutes come out at, but. Let's take a look at the week that was to start out. You can see here Dow started out low, ended up a little higher or just about flat on the day. Overall market internals, I mean, we're 50-50, almost bang on the nose. Stocks above the 200 versus below the 200. Got more below the 50, which means the market's trending a little bit lower. Maybe bull bears still oriented more towards the bull on that index. And on Friday we had more new highs than new lows, so kind of a mixed bag there. Let's take a look at what the groups are doing, which groups are doing well, which aren't. Utilities always seems to be a theme. Going to the safety trades, we'll take a look at the XLU, which was one of the indexes, in a few minutes here. Services, consumer goods. All the ones that are kind of, I'm going to call them safety trades a little bit. Utilities, healthcare, financials. Financials popping up here on the monthly. Technology down. So let's go through the indexes here quickly. See what's going on with the indexes. So you can see, starting out with the 10-year Treasury yield, you can see we rolled back over. I guess maybe again people are anticipating some cuts. RSI is trying to just hang in just above the 30. MACD is flat, means it's kind of running out of momentum one way or another. So again, we're just going to see what happens on the coming week with the Fed. Let's just skip over the dailies and look at the weekly charts. The Dow, we got a sort of an indecision, a doji star candle here, stalled out right near the coming up close to the 2650 level, 500 level. So again, kind of an indecision week. Volume was average. Again, I think people are just sort of sitting on their hands, kind of waiting to see what comes this week. Weeklies on the small caps. Again, a bit of an indecision candle. Rejected from the high, off the low, up on the week. So again, kind of not going anywhere in particular. Qs. Technology, again, we have more of a rejection last week, and I probably in part due to the Broadcom earnings that came out, had some not great earnings, and then some even worse guidance on their forecast for sales for the rest of the year and into next year. So kind of took the semis down, and of course with that the QQs. And the SPY, what do we do on the SPY? Again, kind of an indecision candle. So again, everyone's kind of sitting waiting to see what's happening. Same story. RSI is kind of in the middle there. Volume average last week. Let's take a look at the dollar. The dollar surged higher on the day. Let's just see what we did on the weekly here for the dollar. So dollar strength is still, hanging right about on the highs. Again, probably a bit of a safety trade with all the stuff going on. Of course, you got the Middle East situation with the bombing of the tankers. really didn't do a lot for oil, supporting oil. And you can see here the VIX kind of tells me that maybe, people aren't really pricing in any kind of serious movements one way or another, so the VIX is dropping, which means the market could be going up or maybe just sideways, but right at that 50 moving average right now, and we may be heading lower on the VIX, so we keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at some of our actives that we did last week. Again, I'm kind of in this gold trade. Nugget, I took Nugget, we'll take a look at Nugget in a minute, but gold, you can see what happened here with gold. It just, again, I think this is a safety trade, lowering interest rates as well. So you can see here we came right back up and tested this 1350 level, 1360 level, and rejected off of it, which wasn't a surprise because look at the run it had in the last couple weeks here. Huge run up, and yeah, basically just stopped right out at the, right at a level you would have completely expected it to top out at. So I'm just keeping an eye on it. The only thing I'm concerned about this week is when the Fed speaks, gold moves, and it's sort of hard to predict which way it's going to move. So I may just move to the sidelines on gold here for until we get through the meeting minutes and all the rest of that. But I'm still pretty constructive on gold. I think this could go higher. Let's just take a look at the monthly on what gold looks like. Yeah, so we've got 1400. If we can get through this 1360 level, I'm sure we're going to rip to 1400 fairly quickly, and that'll be the next level of resistance. So yeah, like I said, keeping an eye on that one for sure. Let's see what else we did this week. Fiverr was great. I took that one sort of midday as I saw the strength in it and sold it up here at the around the open. So I got a good 12 points out of that one, 14 points. Yeah, that was a really good trade, fast trade, overnight hold. Labu didn't work out, of course. We tried to play that to the upside, got in around 42.10, got up over 43, was looking pretty constructive for a 44.5, but unfortunately Friday dropped and then stopped out at 41.6. So took a bit of a loss on that one, unfortunately. But you win some, you lose some. This is Nugget. This is what I was talking about. This is the way I'm playing gold. And you can see here, Nuggets had a great run. Obviously, it's levered to gold, so when gold goes up, it goes up as well. Again, we had a hollow fill candlestick here, which means we came up to 22, rejected, came back down. So again, this is the position I have. I'm playing gold with Nugget, and I think like I said, I'm going to probably step to the sideline here. I'm back in, back here somewhere in the 19s on this trade. So pretty happy with the way that worked out. So let's take a look at what we got on watch here. Baba, I'm just watching. I think that, stocks like Baba and Baidu and even KWeb, the ETF, I mean, if we ever do get a deal between China and the US, these things are going to take off because I think they're really, really undersold. I might consider taking a position on Baba if we get back to this gap fill, 155. Could be a good place to take an entry at the fill of the gap there. If we have some down days on this. Baba I already played once off this bottom. Took my profits on that. So now it's just sort of consolidating. Again, it doesn't seem like it. I don't see any price action going anywhere until we get a deal here. So it's just maybe consolidate in this range. But we'll watch, see if it can break and hold 115. Then it might be a good trade up to this gap fill 118. DRQ looks kind of interesting. It's a way to play some of the weak oil prices. It looks like it's just holding here. I'm going to watch it to see if it actually breaks this 40 level. Sort of gets down below 39.55, which another low here is 39.73. So if we can start to break down here, I think we'd be good down to 38. Would probably be a pretty significant level of support. which is, you know, all these points here, and where it tried to break out, pulled back, and then jumped out. Here's where support became, resistance became support, right at this 38 level. So yeah, I think this could be something to keep an eye on for a short. Facebook's been bopping up here ever since they talked about their own currency, and right at the 50-day moving average. I think it's probably going to run out of steam here, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it's going to push through this 50 next week and keep going higher. The RSI is looking pretty strong and getting stronger. Nothing to write home about on volume. Just seems to be grinding higher here. The home builders looks like they're doing fairly well. I guess with the low interest rate environment, if we're going to get some more cuts, it's going to be stimulating for home prices and home sales. So this is a good way to play the home construction market. You can see here it's just starting to break out of this 139 level, so it could be a good long. Let's take a look at the weekly. See, we've got some room to run here. So we got 40. You know, next level could be this 40.55. It's obviously not a huge mover. 46 is really where it topped out back in December of the beginning of 2018. So yeah, something to keep an eye on with this one. Could be interesting. Take a look at KWeb. KWeb again, I'm just keeping an eye on this. This is again a stock or an ETF that actually could move quite a bit if we ever do get a deal between China and the US. But again, this looks a little, this doesn't look very constructive right now. I don't see any pattern there one way or another. Anything to trade against, just something to keep on the screen. Again, I don't think any deal is coming in the near future, and I don't think, we'll see what comes out of the G20 at the end of the month, but I don't think China or the U.S. are in any mood to make any kind of a deal. So the semiconductors got hit, obviously, with the Broadcom earnings. You can see Micron really looked like it was going to break out here, and then it really took a kicking, and it's back down here right at a level 32.20-ish level. And this, we'll see here, this could be a double bottom. And if it is, that's a great level to trade against it. You know, you set your stop around, the low here was 32.17, so you could set your low around 32, your stop around 32. If you can get in somewhere, you know, under 32.60, get a bit of a pullback here. But it was a low on the day on Friday was 32.24. So getting an entry at 32.24. 32.20s-ish, and then holding this, and then using a stop of 32. Keep it pretty tight, because if it loses 32, then 31 is in the cards from here, and as low as 29 right here. So that's a possible setup for on a double bottom. So we'll keep an eye on that on Monday. Roku's just been it's been on a good tear, but it's just consolidating right now, and RSI is rolling over. Volume's really pretty light. I can think it's probably going to continue to consolidate here for a while. I don't see any breakout. It just keeps rejecting that 105 level. So we'll just keep an eye on that one. Again, the semiconductors got hit pretty hard. And not enough about that. Kind of in limbo here, kind of between the 50 and the 200. Indecision candle on Friday. So maybe maybe that bodes well. Maybe there's some upside in that. UNG is just chopping here. I usually keep an eye on natural gas, see if I can see a trend. Right now I don't see anything. It's just holding at a level. USO, again, this is oil, and oil's been hit pretty hard, and it really didn't react that well with all the tension in the Middle East, which leads me to believe that this actually may head lower, and we've got a lot further to go down. If you look at we go back to early 2019, could be down here. So lots of ways to, number of ways to play that. DWT, could short OIH, but I think this, this, we'll watch this. It looks like it's kind of doing a bit of a pendant here. See what that looks like. I'll show you. See, we've got a bit of a pendant right here. So we'll keep an eye on that. I mean, if it can break above there, then we might be coming back up to the very least the 1150 level, 1125, and maybe a gap fill 1175. But my feeling right now is this is probably going to head lower. But we'll have to let the price action tell us. Can't guess one way or another. So that's it, everyone. That's what's on tap for next week. Again, Fed meeting minutes. Eye on the watch, see what happens there, and then we'll make some decisions on what to do based on price action. So if you haven't checked out my book, it's How to Swing Trade. It's on Amazon. Haven't checked it out, go ahead. And that's it. So we'll see everyone in the Bear Bull day trading room on Monday. If you're going to join us there, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and have a good one. We'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.